Amsterdam.
Oh, what a coincidence! I just wanted to tell that story. And that's a story that started in January 2017. I went out with some coworkers and we went to a nice place in Antwerp called Plankenblik. It's like they play jazz music. There's always long cocktails. There's always attractive women there as well. It's a very good atmosphere to hang out. Like generally, if you're ever in Antwerp, go there. But I was kind of a little bit bored because I didn't really know what was expected from me. I didn't know these people very well. So I was like looking for alternatives to keep myself busy, right? And I don't know, have any of you ever seen the television show How I Met Your Mother? Yeah, it's quite essential to the story because in this television show there's this guy the character named Barney Stinson. And he nods like women on the back. Have you met Ted? And Ted being his weird friend, being uncomfortable, and that's like a running gag through the entire series. Now, I thought that was brilliant and not creepy at all, so I went ahead and did the same. Have you met Rutger? Turns out a lot of women hadn't met him yet. Have you met Rutger? They also hadn't met him yet, but what I also figured out is that Rutger didn't want to be met. And Rutger starts to go crazy over my insanity, but eventually we end up with two gorgeous Dutch ladies, and they're standing there. I'm like, have you met Rutger? She also hadn't met him. But she actually starts talking to Rutger, and they're going into a conversation. But now I'm starting to feel bad because she was there with a friend, and now her friend, who happens to be even more attractive, is standing there alone now. And there's this social obligation that I felt that I had to talk to this incredibly attractive woman. It's not because I wanted to, but I had to. So I start talking to her. I say like, hey, how are you doing? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? Because that's how people told me to start a normal conversation. And we start talking. She's like, yeah, I'm from Amsterdam. I work at booking.com. Shit, I said the name. We're gonna cut this, right? We're gonna cut this from the. Sorry. I work there. I live in Amsterdam. We keep on talking, and I actually lose sight of Rutger. But I was like, I'm gonna check the lost and found box tomorrow. Tonight, I'm just gonna stare in the beautiful eyes of this attractive woman that I'm talking to.
Woo!
And we keep on talking, and then at some point she asks me, "Do you smoke?" I say, "No, I don't smoke. But I really want to see you smoke for some reason." We go outside, she starts smoking, I stare at her creepily as I do. We keep on talking, and before I know, it's like 3 a.m. in the morning, and Cinderella has to go back to her hotel room with her friend. And I have to go check the lost and found to find Rutger. But I feel bad because I might never see this woman again, right? So I ask her, are we never going to see each other again? And she must have felt bad because she gave me her Facebook and a little kiss. And that was January 2017. No, this story didn't progress a lot for a long time. Because she lived in Amsterdam and I lived in Antwerp. I know it's a 1-hour train ride, but we Europeans pretend that that's like the end of the world. And I sent her a message. I asked like, are we gonna go for dinner sometime in Amsterdam? And she answers, yeah, but isn't that like super far away from you? To which I responded, 1,000 miles seems pretty far, but they've got planes and trains and cars. I walk to you if I had no other way. Okay, I didn't write that myself. That was from the song Hated Delilah by the Plain White Tees. But what are you gonna do? Sue me? Like their record label is currently doing? But then the story goes on for a very long time until like June 2017, where my boss comes very nervous into the office and acts like he has something to say. Like any day, really. He's like, hey guys, remember that round of funding that we were gonna get, that we needed to pay all of you?
No.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No.
So I could have done some of the regular things, right? I could have responded to one of the stalkery recruiters on LinkedIn with their perfect positions where I have to learn another language and be paid like half of my current salary. Or I could have applied and sold my blood at one of the consultancy companies in Antwerp that burn tax money to try to poorly resolve a problem that only the government believes that exists. But those are the normal things. And I am not a normal guy. So I thought, why don't I give it a shot? Why don't I apply for a job in Amsterdam? So I went ahead, I started looking, I pretended like I knew something from IT, businesses like that. And I found like 2 companies who wanted to interview me, so I jumped on the train, went to Amsterdam, went into interviews, and they went, well. I said, great, this is working. Something is working in my life. And both of them wanted to offer me a job. One of the offers was actually slightly higher than my current salary at the time, so I was like, Jacob, sign it, sign it, sign it. Blindly sign everything, everything is going to be fine, sign. Which is great life advice. Never read your contract, always sign. Then I got introduced to the Amsterdam housing market. Which I didn't know at the time was that apparently to rent a single room in Amsterdam, the price for that, the rent, would be higher than my salary. Which isn't great if you're like a person who's like into buying food or anything. But the worst part of it all was that I had to text back to this special lady and I have to tell her, sorry, it's not working out. I'm not moving to Amsterdam.
Aww.
To which she replied, at my company, booking.com, cut this right, you cannot have the name. At my company, we also have jobs for your position, and we even have a graduate program. And I responded what every single guy in that position would have responded. What the fuck, you think I'm a graduate? But at that time I was in Antwerp, I was broke as fuck, and moving to Amsterdam costs a lot of money, and I didn't have money, so that's kind of a problem. So I had to like start looking for a job in Antwerp, because that would have been the reasonable financial normal thing to do. But I'm not a normal guy. And turns out that this company she worked for was sponsoring relocation, so I had one shot. I had literally one shot, because no other company was doing that, I had no money, this was my only shot to move to Amsterdam. Now, this company had a very selective interview procedure and would only let in 1 out of 1,000 people that applied to their jobs. They had 5 levels of interviews, and I never had any form of corporate experience in my life before. So any normal person would have just given up and tried something else. But I am not a normal person. So I went ahead. And then I took like an online test, to see if you're a psychopath. And apparently I was not a psychopath, so I passed. Then I had a technical test, and I passed, weirdly enough. And I got another test, and I also passed. And then before I knew it, I was in their headquarters for the final rounds of interviews at their headquarters. And then I got like 4 hours of fucking intensive interviews over there. I got a technical test. I fucked up badly. I fucked up everything. I literally said during my interview, I fucked up. After all the interviews, the recruiter comes to me and she asks, hey, how do you feel like it went? And I was like, I fucked up. This was bad. I was sweating, I was nervous, and nothing worked. She's like, oh, we thought it went well. We want to offer you a job. And that, my children, is how I got into one of the biggest tech companies in Europe at the age of 24. Now, I see you all thinking, wasn't this a story about a girl? Yeah. But I kind of have to disappoint you there, because the minute I actually moved to Amsterdam, I got a text from her and she said, let's just be friends.
Aww.
Now, don't feel bad, it's okay, we both got something out of it. She got a referral bonus and an obnoxious stalker who would never leave her alone. I ended up with a burnout and suicidal tendencies. We both got something out of it, we both learned from it, but for me it just took a hell of a lot longer.